Welcome back. Moving right along, we're on to step 3. Hopefully you've already taken the time. You finished reading chapters 2 and 3, watched the videos. You did the lab discussion then, selecting one of those. Make sure that by this point you have read both chapters 2 and 3 as we're moving into this next step, and that you completed the lab discussion initial post as well. Now it is time for, and it's already here in front of you, but the song that I have selected for our Project 1, which is our class piece that we will do, is the Chattanooga Choo Choo. And I think I shared in a previous movie, video, whatever you call these, that I had it narrowed down to 2, and this is the one my mom ended up picking. And so it is slightly harder than what I typically do, but I think in this format, with us going back and forth, and then us having our virtual class meetings, and us then also having the option, or you having the option, of scheduling a Q&A session with me where we can actually troubleshoot this, I think it's going to be okay. And so we will go back and forth. The key thing to the success of this project in this virtual realm is going to be communication, and that you are reaching out when you get stuck. And so we are going to work through this together. Our discussion this week for lab, or for the general topic, is on your progress through this Project 1. I initially was going to toss up some other pieces. Actually, as I say that, I might change my mind yet. So let me renege that statement there, and we might end up having something. Let me ponder that just a little bit more as to what we're going to do, because you do already you submit to me, to the lab Dropbox, a portion of this where you're initially getting this set up this week. So I know that you are successful with that by the beginning of next week. As I mentioned in the previous video, or the last video in the chapter things, next week you're going to have a bigger chunk of time that you should be dedicating to this project and making forward progress on it to get the transcription part done by the end of next week is the hope. So let's start with actually listening to a little bit of the actual song. And so this is the version that goes along with the piano music that we will be working with for this piece. So I'm going to play just the first bit of it. I'm going to stop us there. Hopefully you already started to hear some repetition within this. So that's where we're going to be breaking this down into patterns and really having to think about this and how we're going to create it. I'm going to get us started with the first 1, 2, 3, 4 measures, and that way then we go from there. The piece that I haven't decided yet if we're going to focus in on this week is that little trill that was right at the top. We may or may not focus on this week as we go through it. It just depends on, as I go through the videos here, as to how into it I get as well. And so I may want to fix it, because sometimes when you're creating your piece, you just can't move on without fixing that note piece of it. And so we'll see what we can do here with what we've currently learned, because again, at this point, our main focus is getting these notes, which are right here, to get these notes transcribed over to the notes that are on here in the pitches and the durations. So with this, down below here, you will have a link that I haven't made live yet, but you will have a link to the sheet music. So you're going to watch this video, and right below this video will be that link to the sheet music. Here's the sheet music. It's not live yet. What I want you to just focus on for right now is this 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, the measures are between the lines. So this to right here is one measure. This to right there is a second measure. This is a third measure, and then the fourth measure. And so first thing to do, however you wish to do it, is pause the video once I'm done explaining this, and then write down the notes and the duration. So make a little note as to how you do this. And this again is the same way we did it for the last Dropbox or the lab Dropbox in week 2, where you're actually writing it in here. So if I'm looking at the bass clef here, the very first one, so I'm looking at this, and that first note is a G3. So I am going to put that in the inside here, so that's a G3, and at the same time I'm also playing a C3. I don't have my good pencil with me right now. Then I go up from that, and I see that if it's on the line, and again, I'm looking at the bass clef of our cheat sheet, and so I'm using that as my guide, and then that there is an A3, and then the bottom one still is a C3. And so when I'm writing this, hopefully you can see this, I've decided, because I'm going to need some space for this one, I'm going to write my notes for the bass clef in between here. That will allow me to put my durations underneath, and then up here I can put my notes that I'm going to be working with at the top there. So again, at this point, pause the video. I am going to pause this as well. I'm doing this live with you, well, live recorded, but actually do the pausing along the way. And so right now, pause the video. When we come back, I will have this all transcribed, and you will as well, hopefully. So pause the video and see you in a bit. 3. So again, pause the video, check to see, and I'm not guaranteeing that mine is accurate. So if there's a mistake, there completely may be. We will definitely find that out as we go along. So pause the video right now, and we will actually pick up in the next video with the actual setting up of the piece within Python music. So we're going to actually start coding our Python music code here. But again, we're only focusing on these first 4 measures for the very moment. I will see you in a bit.